Hi, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Got a new deck in today, so we're gonna go ahead and read with that. Add that addition. I'm gonna read some different cards. Everyone, I hope the day has treated you kindly thus far. Thanks for being here, everybody. Let's go ahead and check in on planetary circumstance. Now, there's a lot of stuff happening. There's some things being dismantled. Cards. I'm not supposed to talk about it, right? But if Spirit wants me to talk about it, I mean, they did keep me alive for a reason, now didn't they? So, and they did tell me to go ahead and do this for a reason. So, planetary circumstance for the realms. We've got dimension hijackers that considered themselves conquerors of the sun, walking around on our heads, and then telling everyone how delulu we are, and we're not allowed to come and be in the space where our spirit and our energy belongs, because they don't like our personality. They want to hinder the brightness of the sun by eliminating perhaps some of its directions: north, south, east, west, upper, under, center in temperance. So they like everything scripted, and everybody has to do it the same. The problem with a creator and a creatress is that that's just not possible. Anybody who demands that it be such a thing is not a creator or a creatress. In my opinion. I mean, you use that stuff when you're soldering circuit boards by hand and you want to gain efficiency, you know? So anyway. Alrighty then, so, ooh, a Two of Cups. Hello, sunny days. Alrighty then, so in the central energy, what do we got going on in the central energy? Now, I know we got some folks out there that are quite upset that the divine feminine is rising into her status, and she's being vocal, authentic, transparent, speaking about her experiences in this world and what spirit wishes to be transmitted through the transmitter receiver of our divine communications device. In the central energy, we have an Eight of Cups. Somebody's walking away. They failed at something. They got to find a new path. There's abandonment here. In the challenge position. Hello. Ten of Swords. Betrayal, utter defeat, rock bottom. They're so mad. It's so weird to me how, yeah, okay. So they hit rock bottom. Subconscious. In their subconscious, they're thinking about your celebration. They have failed to attain or obtain your celebration, and they're in a Ten of Swords energy. In the recent past, Two of Pentacles, maintaining balance. You could naturally know the order of things, the natural shift that must occur in order for something to come into alignment. Intentions, expectations. Eight of Swords. They could be juggling. Somebody could be juggling just like that picture suggests. And they could be having some kind of victimhood going on. Eight of Cups, Ten of Swords, juggling. They're feeling helpless. In the near future, Knight of Wands, Three of Pentacles. The lens is being looked through. Six of Swords. Making a transition. Getting in that boat, move it on down the river of life. In the environment, restoring control, detaching from the devil, freedom, release, hopes and fears. It came out and it kind of went like that, and usually when it goes like that, I go like that. So I'm going to go ahead and call it like that. Hopes and fears. Four of Cups in the reverse. Positive outlook. Looking forward to an opportunity. Outgoing energy. Page of Pentacles. Might have a new job. Somebody has, we've got the mind of an apprentice wide open to learning new knowledge. And it doesn't matter how young or old, that is the mind that absorbs knowledge and then adds value to the soul and its opportunity and ability to create. So you might have a new job full of potential. Knight of Pentacles says protective. King of Pentacles, wealthy. Over the Nine of Pentacles. So we've got a Knight and the King and the Knight and the Nine of Pentacles. So they're protecting this opportunity. Yeah, victoriously. Moving on down the road. Fearlessly. Fearlessly. Which means that we've got the Magician who they could be having a little bit of anxiety, or there could be like something hidden. There could be a magician that's having anxiety regarding the Two of Cups union of this independent Queen of Wands and their hard work paying off. Yeah. It could be that you are manifesting something and you're keeping it on the down low. Ending the, bringing an end and a completion to what's been going on here with the Empress. And the Empress is winding up with stability, Ace of Pentacles. So the wealth of the Empress is stable and secure, and all of those devils are flipped on their head because of the illusions that they were casting, this fantasy, and they're disappointed. Because the Star has rejuvenated, brought life to death. New beginnings. We got death and new beginnings, or endings and beginnings, Alpha, Omega. Yeah. Endings. Death. Death to the Five of Wands and the Seven of Swords there. Conflict. So the Star has rejuvenated, which means this is the end of this conflict. She overcame death. And is coming into a happy ending, a happy marriage. And there is a reckoning for love, for the Four of Swords. And there's justice too. Judgment. They could be judgment for everything they've been doing here. I heard somebody say the other day, "What have you been doing to these people?" A masculine, and he was quite upset. So these guys, there was a massive illusion that had been cast with the golden energy of the Celestials by these hijackers of the realm, and they're using the energy of that space in order to bind the energies of that space and to lock things down and feed on it and stuff. You could be entering into some kind of spiritual calling. You might be teaching people how to recuperate out of this, but we've got clarity and truth and justice. New beginnings with a Nine of Cups. Oh yeah, look at that. Ace of Wands, new beginnings, and the Fool. You're free to love everything about you. High Priestess, Queen of Cups, and King of Cups. Restoration of divine love, sacred love and union that is source connected. Yeah. There could be truth and clarity known at the gate now, at the crossroads, regarding what's been going on here with the shuffling of folks and stuff. Of course, everybody wants you to be afraid to speak out on such things, but it's just really weird. When you've been living, like for me, it was over 20 years that they were RAPing my mind. So 24/7, I had all these men in my head telling me how they were going to brutalize and torture me to death, right? Among the crying of the children and the other people and such. It was so horrid. I had to live life anyway, right? I had to choose. Do I want to live? Do I want to go insane? Do I want to try to enjoy my life despite it all and just look at it as a challenge to steady my system in severity? Anyway, it worked, but over 20 years it was silent, right? I couldn't talk to anybody about it, but then I found this community and Spirit led me here to tell the story about what's been going on with people in their mind, and it's just not fair that these guys are using towers out there to bring catastrophe to the mental body of people. It's just not. And to drive them into circumstances or movies that they would not participate in had they known they were being an actor or an actress. So we got the Eight of Cups here. Somebody is disappointed. They failed to swap destinies with you. And you know, they keep trying to project in their nastiness, and even though they agitate the waters, and like I myself, I experience this attack like many of you, and I'm not ashamed to talk about it. It's a challenge, and many people are going through it and they're not even aware. And you know, it's just not fair when you got somebody unseen trying to stick 10 swords in you and you didn't do a damn thing. Woo! Look at that. Upside down. We got distance. Oh, so they got to find a new path. They got to find a new path. Because this says you and your partner may be physically or emotionally distant. It could be that there's no more distance between you and your partner, and they're disappointed about that because they are experiencing utter defeat. Your partner is present, maybe in the spirit, or maybe, you know, however that is for you. They got to let go. Your person is here, and they got to let go. They are in utter defeat. They got to let you go. You're making room for the new beginning that's on its way to you now. They're hitting rock bottom. We got celebration here. They're looking at you, celebration. Your person is here, whether it be in the physical or in the spirit, and there's celebration, merriment, happiness within the community. You know, and there's still some stragglers there that do not belong. They're wearing somebody's identity falsely, or they've somehow sabotaged something. But they want control over the celestial body, the energy of this space, because they're, of course, they need to keep it flatline. They need to keep it minimal. They don't want anybody to go out there and discover that when they're outside and they're happy and they're singing and dancing, that their energy is like, boom. You get everybody out there happy and singing and doing their soul's work, living their purpose. The frequency is just going to elevate, and dense energy just can't touch it. So they got to let you go. It's already happening. So there's a celebration, and we've got health in the reverse. Health, this says health issues could arise. So, but it's in the reverse. So they're disappointed. They failed to keep you apart. Your partner is physically near. They're having a 10 of swords. You're making room for the new beginning that's on its way to you now. So they could be near, traveling toward you. We've got the 3 of Cups. So there's a collaboration, friendship, celebration. There's no health issues. They can't mess with your health. 2 of Pentacles in the recent past, juggling life. It doesn't look like they're in very much control. I mean, the guy's like sweating it, right? Trying to hold it together. Gold digger. A gold digger, feeling like a victim. Well, we got, I guess we got caution, no, I'm going to put them back, but I'm going to show you. Caution, no, water sign, air sign. So, caution, no, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You may not want to deal with those people right at this time. Somebody's feeling like a victim. Wow, and we got 3 more cards. Holy moly. But, okay, so 2 of them came out upside down, all right? So it came out like this. But we got this. So it looks to me like there's a narcissist out there doing love spells and they're going back on them. They're feeling trapped by whatever bindings they had in those spells or something. They're bound by it. It's going back on a narcissist. This gold digger. It could be that they did love spells on a bunch of people who had money in order to like give them stuff, to be generous and such. They're going back on them. Near future, we've got Knight of Wands, confident, and Three of Pentacles, teamwork, apprenticeship. So we've got youthful minds, absorbing, whoa, and we've got divorce. Experiencing a breakup. Knight of Wands, Three of Pentacles team, experiencing a breakup. They're breaking up. Knight of Wands and their team. Power 3, coven. There could be a coven breaking up. There's a transition. Moving on from trauma. Communicate. Better days are coming. We've got freedom from this attachment, this codependent attachment. Restoring control over this gold digger. Losing it, man. All those love spells. The gold digger that's been doing love spells on everybody to gain wealth. It's all going back on them. Guardian angel. You're protected. Four of Cups in the reverse. You're seizing the opportunity, looking forward to it. You're getting something good. You're excited. Positive outlook. They'll be back. There's a heart on that letter. Could be a love letter. Could be a love letter. Could be your guardian. Page of Pentacles here on the outgoing energy. There could be a new job. Something you may not have a lot of experience in. Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Gambling. Oh. Well, so it could be that you were gathering information perhaps regarding this gambling, what people were doing here, gambling with the souls, the life of people with this sexual whatever. You could have been patient, fire sign, gathering research while people were spying on you. It could have been going both ways. People, third-party enemies, looking at you as though you were their pet, viewing you as an animal to be sacrificed, using animals to sacrifice. We've got everything in divine timing. You're letting things flow. You could be changing residence soon. And by that, it could just very well be some kind of a timeline adjustment, dimension hop, quantum leap. All Alrighty then, so Eight of Cups here, failed attempt. You failed attempt. They could have failed to get close to you. They're disappointed because your person is near and they have to let you go. They're suffering an utter defeat. Restless. Restlessness. Burned out. Ten of Swords, utter defeat, breaking down, hitting rock bottom. They got to let you go. We're making room for the new beginning. Temperance. So you're bringing temperance. They got to let you go, or you're letting them go. You're bringing temperance to a volatile foundation. Those who have been sticking swords in everybody are being let go. Your person is near. You're bringing temperance to a volatile foundation, to these passive aggressive behaviors, these emotional power plays. Yeah. Fiery emotions may be cooling. You're letting go of those who want to go to war with people. It's like, we're not here for that. We're not here to see who can beat up who and bully who the best. We're here to build, to create, to share our creations, to appreciate what it is that we create that improves life for the community. So we got the Three of Cups here, and health issues could arise in the reverse. So we got a healthy community. A healthy partnership. Healthy partnership. So we've got a foundation of harmonious union is bringing judgment to the imbalance that these Ten of Swords, war, stick them in the woman, the man, gold digger, trying to suck the gold out of everybody's soul, you know? So we got, you got the partners are bringing judgment to the imbalance that had been caused by these people who wanted to fight. Ten of Swords, everybody. Two of Pentacles is juggling life, ups and downs, gold digger. They want everybody else's money to be used. Why? Because they don't have any. Solitude. They want everybody else's money to be used. Seek inner guidance through introspection and solitude. A season of spiritual growth is ahead. They want your light. They're feeling trapped because there's Mercury retrograde for all the love spells that this narcissist did. It's going back on them. Those, whoever they were digging gold with, all those love spells are going back on them. Now they got to give all that light, all that attention. Regeneration. What once crushed you is now becoming your catalyst for transformation. The corruption. Power must be wielded with care. Are your actions aligned with your words? So there's regeneration after this corruption. The love spells are going back on the narcissist. The narcissist may, I don't know, regeneration after the corruption that this narcissist did. They're in a Ten of Swords. They're being let go. They got to let go of you. You're bringing temperance to those who want to go to war, consume, divide families, you know, lead children astray and all that. Knight of Wands is here. We've got Knight of Wands and Three of Pentacles team are experiencing a breakup. Misalignment. So there's no more collaboration with whoever these people are. There's a misalignment. unhealed patterns. So yeah, they're not in the same alignment. So somebody's not working with anybody anymore. Six of Swords, better days are coming. Somebody's undergoing a transition, moving away from the trauma, letting go of that bag of rocks. There could be a compromise, forgiveness, working it out. This has been crazy. There may need to be communication and compromise regarding the heinous crimes that the soul has absorbed and had to alchemize. We are a new being now. Dependence. So you're moving away from this trauma, and somebody is codependent on you. They want to communicate, they want to compromise, work it out. But you got freedom from codependency. You no longer have to serve them. You don't have to share the wealth of your labor, your blood, sweat, and tears with them when they didn't even do anything except just try to take it. Yeah, they failed. You're being released. You're protected. Restoring control, regeneration after all this corruption. Manifestation. Your guardian angel, be intentional with your energy. You have the power to bring your desires to life. Four of Cups in the reverse. Looking forward, there's something exciting. Expect to hear from them soon. Your guardian angel is manifesting something. Restoring control from this codependent thing. We've got transformation. Some kind of a transformation. Expect to hear from them soon. Something in your life, an identity, belief, relationship, habit, or cycle is being transformed. Expect to hear from them soon. They'll be back. We got transformation, which is a metamorphosis, some kind of an evolution, a regeneration, transformation. For many years, in the very like inner portion of my mind, like there's been this, some people would call it a nagging thought, although it wasn't nagging, it was quite pleasant. Just an inner knowing that there was going to be a regeneration, which is right here after the corruption, after the siphoning, after the abuse. There's a transformation. There could be some kind of a manifestation of this transformation. Page of Pentacles, you could have a new job. Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Recovery. The earth is in recovery. The earth or the earth sign. The earth. The earth is showing signs of recovery, perhaps. Maybe you're here to help it, their earth sign. Maybe you're going to be working with the earth for recovery. I knew I got a message a couple years ago. They were here to ensure that to help make sure that the old Dominion is here to make sure that the transfer happens smoothly, and it didn't, obviously. He said there's like pest control and then restoration. So we got recovery of your sovereignty. You've recovered your sovereignty. The earth has recovered its sovereignty. Yes, the earth is showing signs of recovering sovereignty. this liberation. They're letting go. Earth is free. The children are going to be safe. Yes, there's this new partnership calling judgment on the imbalance and bringing temperance to the volatile chaos, aggressiveness that we've all been experiencing. So that's really, really good. Those who presented so many obstacles are feeling hopeless, in a state of hopelessness regarding the illusion that they are in, that they created. They're in a fear of change. They neglected traditional values. Yeah. This is the new deck. Whoopsie. Right here. You're fine. Breaking news, disaster. You're fine. The world isn't ending. It just feels that way sometimes. Take a nap. So the devil no longer has control of the earth, or Satan, or whatever you want to call it. This codependent attachment that's been in everybody's minds. That's the way I'm going to read it anyway. Alrighty then, so somebody's disappointed because you and your partner are not far from each other. Somebody's feeling restless and pushing forward despite exhaustion. It's been a long 2 years. Somebody's feeling restless. You're surviving. Could be close. This could be your person feeling restless, pushing forward despite exhaustion. They could be on their way to you. They're working through the storm. Look at that. They're bound and determined. Look at their muscles are even like going on. They're ignoring the need for rest and they're pushing forward. They failed to stop that. Somebody's failed to stop this your person from closing the distance. You're not emotionally distant. They tried to separate you and separate your energy and such, or perhaps your care, and that didn't work out. So they got to let go. Their challenges, they got to let go, or they're being let go, making room for the new beginning on its way. They're in a 10 of swords here, utter defeat. They're hitting rock bottom because the temperance angels are bringing temperance to the passive aggressive behaviors of those who say that they have the ear of God, but they are punish anybody who refuses to do what they say. They don't allow the temperance angel to be that. I mean, potency, right? You got to calm it down, you know? Well, that's not what temperance angels do. They walk into a damn storm like this and then they calm it down. And sometimes they bring a storm when necessary. These ones are in utter defeat over this temperance angel. They could be getting go and in a 10 of swords due to the volatility of your person, your temperance angel. Yeah, that's probably it. They're being, yeah, they're probably not feeling very comfortable right now. They're probably not feeling very comfortable right now because of this this situation, this volatile situation. with the angels, with the temperance angels. They got their flame on. Dealing with these passive aggressive behaviors. Harming people for daring to be different. Daring to be different. For daring to be different. Everybody needs a trophy. Except for the one person that dares to be different, right? You don't fit in the cookie cutter world, and they're very uncomfortable with that. They needed to control you, bring you into the fold, but you refused to wear the same personality as everybody else. You probably don't watch much television or listen to much debates on the television. You set your own boundaries. You're setting boundaries here. So the temperance angel is making room for the new beginning, bringing a 10 of swords. These folks are hitting rock bottom. It's a volatile. Yeah, there's serious boundaries being laid. By the temperance angels to restore this balance. All these people, look at them. Your peace is allowed to exist. Look at them. I mean, this is your energy. It's like so powerful, and you've got a line. And look at them. They're so angry. They want it. They're screaming at you like you're doing something wrong, and you're like, just stop already. For God's sake, just stop. But you're an angel, and they don't like your power. They want to feed on it. They feel that, if they feed on you, then their anger will subside. If you let them have your light, then they will stop being so angry. But then you will have to wear their personality because they're going to transfer it. And that's part of the problem with humanity right now. These people have been transferring their illnesses into the populace in this proxy war for consciousness and the bridges to the golden celestial kingdom. We got celebration here. There's no health issues. The partnership here. So somebody may have said there was health issues. There's no health issues. This partnership is calling judgment on the imbalance. It's setting boundaries with these people who are accusatory. And it's like, really? We're just sitting here, man, trying to be at peace. But you got these people being so freaking volatile. So there's boundaries being set by the temperance angel in order to protect the peace. Calling judgment on the imbalance. It's like, you guys need to go out there and freaking get yourselves under control, man. Go add some value to your own soul and get yourself under control, for Pete's sake. That is so wild. Light ahead. So there's no health issues. This partnership is calling judgment on the imbalance. Your person is near. These people failed to stop that union, that coming together. There's light ahead. He's very near. Might be feeling restless. He's been walking this trail, and now he's near. He's very near for this partnership. Two of Pentacles, juggling life. This gold digger is thinking. They've been gold digging the solitude lights. Like, you know, I'm 60 and I've been single most of my life. So they've been gold digging the celestials, and they've been making sure that nobody else gains access to our life because there's draining it out of us. They like the gold. That's what they've been doing in order to maintain balance here. They've been sucking the light out of people. This gold digger. So you've done your research. Celebrate small wins. Progress is progress. And now they're feeling like a victim because there's Mercury retrograde on all of the love spells that this narcissist casted. They're all going back. This corruption, we're regenerating after this corruption, or there's regeneration after this corruption. So all of the love spells that this gold digger did on single people in order to drain their light out of them. This person survived. There's regeneration from the corruption. We're closing the tabs, shutting down connections, ending partnerships and collaborations because they were corrupt. Yeah. So there's no longer too many tabs open. You're closing the tabs. You're not doing business with some people. And I've heard these people complaining about resources and trade, and they called that inter trade or whatever. Yeah, so apparently they're complaining because the territory, or this new cycle of territory, however that's going to wind up being, has its own resources. There's no need to do business with anybody outside of the territory. They have everything they need to supply enough so that you can protect the boundaries. You don't want to be letting these people in so that they can start downloading their crap into the people within the territory, right? Thank you, Marilyn. You got to protect the vessels that are housing this incredible, powerful force, right? You gotta protect it from the outside world that really wants to feed on it. Their favorite weapon of war is marrying into a clan and then depleting its power, its wealth, its energy. Breathe. So there's a Knight of Wands and a Three of Pentacles team of collaborators experiencing a breakup. There's misalignment. They could be having a water crisis. I heard a few months ago that somebody was worried about their water supply. Somebody may be having a water crisis. Six of Swords, transition. Compromise, forgive, work it out. Dependence. Support turns into overprotection. It can hinder natural growth and self-reliance. So they weren't able to depend on themselves. They went ahead and dug the gold out of everybody else's soul, and they didn't care how much it hurt them. They drained the life and the light out of creators. that were here to create. And then they partied and fucked and had a great time creating chaos for everyone. So dependence, but you're choosing yourself. They want to compromise and work it out. These people who are dependent upon you, but you're choosing yourself. You are allowed to come first because everything is weird and nobody knows what they're doing. So you're like, I'm out of here, man. You know what? I'm out of here. These people are dependent on your participation in their storyline. They need you to fuel the illusion that whatever they're speaking on has value. You need to pay it your attention and walk right into whatever they say you need to walk into. But everything is weird and nobody knows what they're doing. These people that are dependent upon you. So you're choosing yourself and you're walking away. And it's like, you know what? You guys just stay there and freaking tell yourselves a little story. Tell yourselves a little story and convince yourselves how important you are, because nobody really cares about what you're announcing. It has no value. It literally has no value. It doesn't help anybody. So you're leaving it behind. You're like, out of here, man. Because nobody knows what they're doing. They can't create. They can't produce. They don't share. All they do is mouth about what every freaking body else is doing wrong. And yet they're not able to do it right. So you're choosing yourself. You're like, dude, you don't know my song, and you certainly don't know how to use my light. They want the power without the wisdom on how to not only generate it, but then to manage it well when you are surrounded by this nastiness, so that you don't destroy everybody or everything, but you don't allow it to destroy you either. You're choosing yourself. That's all right. You guys go have a good time convincing yourself that what you're saying has value while the world burns. You're being released from the devil, from this codependent bullpucky. We've got a restoring control by the guardian angels, manifesting. Yeah, it's a creator. You're protected by the creator. And this card says, not everything is a crisis. You're imagining things spiraling out of control, but really it's just laundry. So your guardian angel is like, or there is the creator, perhaps. I say guardian angel. There could be some protection. Restoring control, releasing it from codependency, and easing the crisis of consciousness. So these people had been tapping into the minds of humanity and then driving them crazy, getting them convicted of being anger or insane or psychotic or whatever. But really, that's just the principality projecting their personality into the transmitter receiver, messing with the mind of the people. Boom, 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 explosion, 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 all the damn time within the synapses of the highways of the minds. I watched a YouTube video of a little girl, 5 years old. She was like holding her head, begging her mama to tell this voice to stop trying to make her use the middle finger with her mother. So whoever this is, they're taking away the opportunity for these devils to mess with the consciousness of people. It's going away. No more explosions in the minds of humanity. Fake AI, or however you want to call it, this projection of these word magicians, these mental magicians and all of that. So yeah, we're getting detached from that stuff. No more explosions in the minds of humanity. So this is the love spells and all of that stuff. We're setting boundaries. It's all going back on the narcissist. Anybody who is pushing in, trying to suck the gold out of our vessel, we're setting boundaries so they can't have it. Look at them, how mad they are. They're so mad. And it's like, why are you mad? If you really were what you're pretending to be, then you would be part of setting this boundary. But they're not, man. They're just there feeding on people. And they're angry that they can't mess with your mind or cause explosions in your mind. They want to be able to convict you of having an attitude, of having anger issues by running this energy and this mental disorder through the mind. But you got to remember that you are a transmitter receiver, a communications instrument of source. You're here to receive messaging from the celestial and then manifest it here. And these people have been blowing everybody's freaking minds up so that they couldn't receive the messaging while they were stepping in as a spiritual identity and then messing everything up for everybody. So Guardian Angel is bringing that to an end. We've got excitement here. They'll be back. Expect to hear from them soon. We've got a transformation coming. This cycle is ready to go. Ready to, look, eat something. Somebody's hungry. So this transformation here says something in your life, an identity, belief, relationship, habit, or cycle is ready to die. And these people are very angry about it. There's excitement. It's about ready to die. Whatever this attachment is, it's about ready to die. They're hungry. Because they can't eat your energy anymore. So there's death. They're hungry, they're thirsty. These beings that have been feeding on everybody. But there's boundaries. This person, your person, whoever this person is, they're coming in and they survived and they're like, oops. Look, and now because they survived and they're setting boundaries, other people, they can't feed anymore. They can't feed. So they're hungry. They're like animals, man. Look. Because he survived. So we've got the Page of Pentacles here. We got a new job. The Earth is showing signs of recovering its sovereignty. Humanity is recovering its sovereignty. So we got the pages. There's a celebration. The youth. Be patient. Growth takes time. So the Earth is showing signs of recovery of its sovereignty. Be patient. It takes time. Growth takes time. If you want to have this light inside of you that can, like, you don't have to take shortcuts. You just got to be patient while the seeds crack open inside of you and they're actually birthed into whatever they are, so that they can start generating the its own essence. You know, every seed has within it the power necessary. So like an oak seed, an oak tree seed, you know, is very small, but it has the power and the potential inside of it to become this huge thing. We got a lot of folks out there taking shortcuts, and their roots don't grow deep. You got to be patient, and it takes time, and that's when the faith comes in, right? Because God is in charge of turning the wheel. And we have to be patient, because we can't say, well, hurry, 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 God. And God's like, well, you're not ready. You're not ready to carry this light, this power, this growth, this magnificence. You're not ready to be that tree. Your roots aren't deep enough yet. So you got to make sure, you know, that you're properly prepared, so that that tree can have all of the nutrition and all that it needs in order to become what it needs to be, to set boundaries, and then to remain stable when the winds come and the storms come. If you can't hold this line, then the gold digger will feed. And the gold digger does not deserve democracy. I said it. So this says stop texting them. If they wanted to reply, they would. And it's like, lower your expectations. Peace starts here. Tiny steps still move you forward. And that's how it happens. The small wins. Every baby step eventually becomes a big step. And then it eventually becomes a mile. And then it eventually becomes what it becomes as we evolve. It's important that we take time to take a break, right? You matter. Your presence changes things, and we've got to restart. Turn yourself off and then turn yourself back on. And we have slow down. So we're slowing down. It could be that time itself is going to slow down once more. You don't have to outrun it. Take a breath. You don't have to solve everything today. You are safe. And life is absurd. Laugh a little, you know, and it is absurd. And you got all these people out there being serious and trying to say everything has to be flatline, it has to be stern and brutal and callous and whatever. No, man, life is it's magical, but it doesn't mean it has to be baneful and abusive, right? Right. Yeah, not everything needs a reaction. So breathe and just recognize it. It's temporary. Every moment, moment by moment by moment. And sometimes, you know, I learned this a number of years ago. I had to give a fella a ride to work. Now, he was a temporary employee and he didn't have wheels, and he happened to reside near where I lived. So I offered to give him a ride. Now, the fella never bathed, you know, so he really stunk. And I kept telling myself, now just be kind, because the fella, you know, he one of his arms didn't grow right, and he had a job and he needed to be employed. So I sucked it up, man. And I kept telling myself, nothing lasts forever, nothing lasts forever. And he was only there like 3 months, you know, but I did my service and I got him back and forth, and then he quit or whatever. But anyway, nothing lasts forever. And so when we're called to duty, to assist another human being, try to get their shit together, then I guess we should try to do it without complaint, recognizing that God is in control of how long our service shall be, and maybe it's just a test. Are we ready to be entrusted with this responsibility to help our fellow human being become stable, even when it's repulsive, every morning and every evening to give them a ride back and forth, I don't know. Take it as it resonates. We're all being tested. And that was one of the things that was said in the very beginning. 2 years ago, I heard everybody needed to be tested. And of course, I was still very distraught because I was like my 22nd year of mental RAPE. And so I was really distraught, it was a full-time freaking job to hold myself stable in that storm. He said everybody needed to be tested, and I was kind of, but I had quite a bit of a test, Matt, and I remained stable through it. So not everybody can do that. It's we challenge ourselves with whatever our circumstance is to be the best that we can be in that challenge. And whatever anybody else is saying out there about how delulu it is, or how freaking when you're laughing at yourself and life is magical and all that good stuff, and they're just looking at you thinking you're a dreamer, you're a child, whatever. Well, children dream of fantastical things, and sometimes they become reality. And why would you want to ever get rid of that just because your physical form ages? The mind of an apprentice never stops learning or becoming more. So somebody's disappointed because you and your partner are physically or energetically close. There's a restlessness. You're surviving, and that counts. Your person is pushing forward despite exhaustion. A beloved child of the divine coming your way. So this isn't one of those other fellows. Those other fellows are in disappointment. They failed to stop this from coming together. They're being let go with the 10 of Swords, utter defeat, to make room for this new beginning. Temperance angels are dealing with the validity, the passive aggressive behaviors, and they're setting boundaries. Setting boundaries with ghosts. Or setting boundaries with those who kept ghosting you. There's a detachment. A separation is occurring. You're setting boundaries with the hungry ghosts who want to feed on you. Who've been sucking the light out of you. There's a celebration here. We have no health issues. There's light ahead. Darkness doesn't last forever. There's a partnership here with respected and shared values, laying the foundation of harmonious union, calling judgment on the imbalance, simplifying things. Hello. calling judgment on the backstabbers who kept sacrificing people. Here. So, Two of Pentacles is having a challenge, keeping it together. Gold digger wants your money being used. They were keeping the Temperance angels in solitude and then draining their light. You celebrated small wins. You came through and you did it by yourself. Twin flames. Progress. Here in the central energy, you're surviving. That counts. The children of the Most High. And you got boundaries around. You are protected. You're almost there. You're almost there. Eight of Swords. Somebody's feeling like a victim. The love spells that they were doing on everybody are backfiring on these narcissists. After their corruption, we have regeneration. And we're closing tabs. We're closing tabs. So whatever this matrix, whoever these people are that are connected, their cords are being cut. We're closing the tabs. We're no longer doing business with them. No more business with lying, cheating scammers. They're no longer going to be able to cause you health issues or feed on you and your power. Knight of Wands and a Three of Pentacles collaboration are experiencing a breakup. They're misaligned values. We've got drink water, hydration first, existential crisis later. They got a problem. They're trying to keep it a secret. Six of Swords, releasing the trauma. You're leaving and they want to work it out. They're dependent on you, but everything is weird and nobody knows what they're doing. So you're choosing yourself. You're allowed to come first in the story of your life. And nobody needs to tell you what your script is because you've got your own soul map connected to Source. Heartbreak. Freedom and restoring control over this codependent stuff. We've got detachment of the devil. Your guardian angel is manifesting protecting the crown. No more crisis of the mind of the people. No more blowing up the minds of the people. These people have been sacrificing the mental body and sticking these freaking devils on everybody and driving them into mental institutions, and that's over. They're having massive regrets. It's back on them. It's back on them. They're turning into an animal because all that stuff that they had been offloading into the mind of these innocent people is coming back on them. So your guardian angel could be God, is protecting you and your mind, your energy. Whatever they had put into your mind, all of that crazy chaos, it's going back on somebody else, and they are in massive regret. There's excitement. We've got to expect to hear from them soon. There's a big transformation, and this cycle is ready to die. And you've got somebody that's being dramatic. They're very hungry. there's boundaries. They can't feed on your light, your energy, and they're losing their cadoodles. So they're hungry and they're thirsty and they're losing their shit. They're trying to keep it secret. They're undergoing a transformation. Those who are mirroring you are turning into what they are, because everything that they are, that they had planted into the mind of you, is going back on them, and they're turning into what they are. So we've got Page of Pentacles, new job. You're getting a new job. We've got the Earth is showing signs of recovery, recovering sovereignty. Be patient. Growth is taking time. The Gold is coming back into the middle ground. Everything is being revitalized because we're getting rid of the bark beetle, the feeder, the feeders. Be patient. Be patient. Growth takes time, so be patient with this journey. Take your time. Don't rush. Make sure that everything is stabilized before you move on to the next step. Make sure that you're stable so that a slight breeze won't blow you over. Family. So be patient. Growth takes time with this family. So, you know, we have our disagreements. We have to communicate. We have to compromise. We have to understand, or try to be the union that we're supposed to be, right? To actually care enough to care about each other, rather than, yes, because Mr. Arrogant, my way or the highway, is being blocked. The narcissist is being blocked. This next cycle, we have in this family GPS, we've got sovereignty, we've got golden light, we've got patience, we've got care and understanding, and lots of love. Sovereignty, not this weird feeding thing, you know? So those people who were doing readings on others in order to trap them and go round and round and round, it's too late. It's too late for those who pretend to love you but actually hate you. And that's bad news for those people who have been sacrificing everybody. Shocking news, as a matter of fact. Shocking news, because those workplace affairs, or those people who have been, you know, working the energy of intimate relationships or whatever, they're being rejected. Yeah. Because they were only getting married to have a life of ease. They didn't want to work for anything, so they targeted people who already had something, or made an agreement with somebody to have wealth while others suffered, and they got into this weird freaking thing, man. They're losing sleep, they're having an ego death, they could be losing their minds, but you are free from that. So, sex addicts are running. God is fed up with them and their freaking devious devil attachments and harvesting. They're saying goodbye to the jackass. Goodbye to the jackass. Oh, you know. It's the end of sweet talk. They're not happy. There's a lot of stuff happening right now. They're ashamed, feeling like shit. They're not who they say they are. They're wearing somebody else's identity, personality, whatever. They're not who they say they are. They're wearing a sacrificed identity. They're wearing somebody else's identity. Divine Masculine's got a lot of legal matters. Divine Feminine has learned her karmic lesson regarding the side hustle of the thug and this reckless sex bullshit. With this psycho, this shady psycho is effed up over you. Mr. Bumping His is under pressure because you're turning your back. You turned your back on the toxic lifestyle, which was the trap. And you're getting your wish. Your true colors are seen. You left the toxic lifestyle. You gave up whatever that was, and they couldn't mix their energy with you anymore. So you're seeing clearly. And those who were marrying, I guess, so you're seeing clearly. You're getting married. Jezebel's getting arrested because the Queen Bee's home. Oh my gosh, we got a lot of lazy leeches on this golden energy here. They're so angry and upset about it. They want everybody to be quiet about it. Yeah, they're hungry, they're thirsty. There's divorce. Knight of Wands, who's been doing Three of Pentacles, Power of Three, whatever. Yeah. Misalignment, we got backwards. So they failed to keep you and your person apart. They failed to keep, yeah. So you're surviving. And there could be some restlessness. You could be getting close, but you're exhausted and you are pushing forward despite it. Between worlds. Between worlds. You are not lost. You are becoming something more. You're surviving. That counts. Between worlds. Restless. Exhausted. Making room for new beginnings on its way to you now. You're letting go of these people. Bringing temperance to chaos, to this volatility. Your peace is allowed to exist. They can't just push in on you like this. They're like, you have to deal with me. You're this, you're that. And you're just over here like, man, I don't even know you. What's your problem? I don't even know you people. They keep sacrificing people because they're hungry. There's no light in them. They didn't do the work. It did not have to be violent to be final. They're being let go. 10 of Swords. Celebration. There's no health issues. There's a light ahead. Darkness does not last forever. These twin flame partnerships are calling judgment on the imbalance that the backstabber has been bringing to the people with their mind games, their false contracts, their feeding on the life force of soul. They're losing their thread of gold. They won't be able to travel into this space anymore. We're closing that tab, closing that connection. There's a divorce, a breakup. They're in some desert somewhere. They can't bring explosions to your mind or your life anymore. They're no longer going to have access to the gold in you or the thread that you're connected to. There's Gold Digger is having a lot of ups and downs. They're juggling here. They were using your light to pay their debt, to bring balance to their world. You celebrating small wins. Progress is progress for the twin flames. They wanted your light to be used to pay their debt. They did not want to do the work. They wanted you to stay alone, but you're coming together. So the Gold Digger was using you to bring temperance to their ship because they didn't know how. So sucking the light out of you. Right. And keeping you in solitude. But you were making small wins on the way, and the twin flames are there. Look at that. Boom. You kept getting your light bigger and bigger and bigger. Invitation, and you received invitation. The universe saw you, heard you. Progress is progress. You've been invited to cross into the unknown. This Gold Digger has been spending your light, but now they're feeling like a victim. They're trapped because there's Mercury retrograde for all of the love spells that this narcissist did to gain money, to gain connection to this inner sun, the soul, S-O-L, in the solar plexus, the rainbow covenant, and it's celestial wealth. Due to this corruption, we're receiving a regeneration. We're closing the tabs on third wheel enemies. You've unlocked the barriers, have fallen. Barriers have fallen. So we're closing the tabs for third-party enemies. Knight of Wands, Three of Pentacles collaboration, experiencing a breakup due to misalignment. Hydration first, existential crisis later. They need to drink water. They're thirsty. They don't have any water. They might be in a desert. The quiet flame. There could be a flame inside of them. Secret, they're trying to keep it secret. Soft but steady, your inner fire is reshaping the world around you. Like they might not be able to deal with it. It could be that the increase of the light here is making them like they can't. Are they not able to process the energy of it? Something's violent. You're leaving that baggage behind. There's a transition here. They want to compromise, work it out. They're dependent on you, but everything is weird and nobody knows what they're doing. So you're choosing yourself. You're allowed to come first, and they're heartbroken. It's like you're done. Because whoever these people are, like they're never coming. They're placing themselves far above you. You're choosing yourself because he was never coming. He waited for someone who only existed in their hopes. Somebody's heartbroken. He was never coming. Starved soul. Feeding everybody but yourself. Sacred shadows. They were expecting somebody to arrive. You chose yourself because nobody knows what they're doing. And people are heartbroken because he was never coming. Freedom, restoring control, guardian angel manifesting an end to the storm in the mental body of this celestial space. Somebody's having massive regrets because all of that is now back on them. Whatever this is, a return of the mental insanity, it's all going back on them. They got to deal with it now. The return of the seeds of their garden, their effort. Starved soul. They're having massive regrets for feeding everyone but yourself. Now you're fading. They're fading. A starved soul. They have no light. And they're getting cut out of yours. They're getting cut out of the mind. They can't use your consciousness as a bridge or a connector to the celestial realms. They're losing the connection. There's excitement. We've got, expect to hear from them soon. We've got a transformation happening here. Something in your life, an identity, belief, relationship, habit, or cycle is ready to die. And people are growling. They're hungry. Those who have been mirroring you, the copycats, they're hungry. They're growling. Look at them. They're like, they're cut out. There's boundaries and they're freaking out. They're hungry. They're thirsty. Those who had been mirroring you, look, this is really sad, man. This is the new deck. So you got boundaries here? And they're like hungry. Look at that. Thank you for the Sunday. And the floating heart. Thank you. Thank you, Betty Boop. So we've got a new job. Page of Pentacles, something you haven't done. You may have a new adventure coming up. The Earth is showing signs of recovery, sovereignty. Be patient. Growth takes time. So be patient as it comes alive again with this royal golden energy. We've got a new GPS for family. We have shifted shapes. You are the phoenix and we have risen. And those who had been dragging you down are losing their thread of gold. You're allowed to change. Your form is not your fate. You have evolved. So yeah, be patient as the royal golden light is increased here in the middle ground. You got folks, they're not going to do well in this new high vibe environment. Skybound, shapeshift, skybound. You were never meant to stay grounded. Rise into your vision. And not all darkness is dangerous. Some of it is depth. So we've got sacred light and sacred shadow. It could be that the sacred shadow is skybound. Do you know the higher you go, or the bigger the boogeyman gets? At least that's what the lady who pulled the feeding tube out of my astral back, that these people had been siphoning energy out of. So the sacred shadow has elevated. They've leveled up. We've got healing doesn't always look like growth. Sometimes it looks like stillness. And we've got vanishing point. Some endings are beginnings in disguise. Soft armor. You don't have to be hard to be strong. So there could be a vanishing point. We got something going backwards. There could be a vanishing point here, and you are protected from this false prophet. Whoever's been profiting off of your light, your flame, your inner fire, there's boundaries here. They can't feed on you and they're freaking out. We're in a sacred pause right now. It's not punishment, it's preparation. Because we've got these people, they're moonlocked under a spell of their own making, and we're breaking free of it while they're being imprisoned here. So yeah, we got some stuff happening that we need to be patient with right now. They're losing their noodles because they're hungry here and thirsty, and they can't drink your fluids or eat your flesh anymore. Christed being royal golden child, and they're hungry. They're going to try to rile you, get you involved in a mental argument, something to lower your vibration and to bring a little chaos so that your stability wavers and they can kind of wiggle in there and feed or whatever, you know? So just best to avoid people right now if you can, as much as possible. I'm going to pull from this deck and then we'll go ahead and shut it off, because I know I usually go really long, but we've got a couple of new decks here, so I feel like we got some good stuff. So Infinite Masks came out in the reverse. Masks are off. You got a heart like a lotus flower. You're surviving, and that's what counts. Humanity is seen as worthy, beloved children of the divine. So you got a heart like a lotus flower, and you got framed, man. And just like, I guess, what was that? Cheech and Chong? I was framed, man. Anyway, you're making room for the new beginning. You're letting things go. And they're in a Ten of Swords, utter defeat. The Temperance angels are dealing with this volatility, and it did not have to be violent to be final, but you're setting boundaries with those who have been ghosting you and feeding on you, or the hungry ghosts, whichever way you'd like to look at that. They're no longer going to feed on the sacral essence or cash in on your stuff. You're getting great big fortune here. It's yours, and you're setting boundaries. You've got a fortune of gold, golden energy, the royal celestial essence. It's yours. The gold is yours. They will not be taking it out of your sacral. They didn't experience any kind of growth. There's a celebration here. They're not able to destroy your health. You don't have any health issues. Though there's a light ahead, darkness does not last forever, and the partnerships are bringing judgment to the imbalance of the backstabber, the mind gamer. They're losing their thread of gold. They're losing their access to the celestial gold. Dreamweaver. Create your own wealth. So they're losing their access to the thread of gold, and they could be stuck in their own dream. They wanted you outside, and it looks like that's where they are. So they were using the inner gold of the celestial to bring balance to their whatever, and they kept you single because they needed you to. You've done some research there, and you're celebrating small wins. In the past, twin flames are getting an invitation to life. So it's about to backfire. So the twin flames are getting an invitation. An unseen force asks you to cross into the unknown, while the ravens appear to be returning the curse, the dream, the death magic, whatever that is, to these people. or the ravens are no longer working for these people. Therefore, whatever they're doing or whatever they asked for is backfiring because it won't stick to you. The ravens are messengers, ancient wisdom, magic, spirit world, life and death. They're everything that they did in the spirit world regarding life and death, magic, it could be that it's backfiring on them. While you're getting an invitation out of here, you unlocked the key, the barriers have fallen, and you're getting an invitation. The twin flames, you're seen, you're identifiable. There's a Mercury retrograde of it. This Eight of Swords entrapment is Mercury retrograde love spell back to the narcissist. There's a regeneration after this corruption. We're closing the tabs of these third-party enemies. We're no longer doing business with them. They no longer have access to you. Yes, because he is closing it down. They're no longer able to F around with your mind. You're protected. They lost in court. They lost in court. Closing the tab. There's a divorce with this Knight of Wands, Prince Charming. And their third party, or their Three of Pentacles collaboration, this team, whatever, there's a divorce, a breaking up due to a misalignment. They're thirsty. They're trying to keep it quiet. The quiet flame is burning soft and steady. There's an inner fire. There could be an inner fire in this person. Maybe they need to drink some water. They're trying to keep it a secret. They're not getting their wish. They're trying to keep it secret. They tried to keep you secret. Your inner fire is reshaping the world. They need to drink water. They're thirsty. You are transitioning out of there. They want to compromise. They want you to forgive them. They're dependent upon you. And everything is weird because they don't know what they're doing, but they want you to follow their guidance while you give them all your money. So you're choosing yourself this time. You are allowed to come first in your own story. And they're heartbroken. They're heartbroken. These people, they were never coming for you. They were never going to lift you up. They were never going to show up for you. And there's somebody, Stardust, that's never coming. Somebody's heartbroken. Whoever he is was never going to show up. They're not getting the money. They're not getting the money. There's freedom and restoring control, a detachment from the devil, from these codependent people. They can't take your money. They can't take your soul. They can't take the royal gold out of your life force. They can't hijack your rainbow covenant identity, your spiritual identity. You are protected. A lost loved one watches over you, and they are manifesting. They're protecting your mind. Everything. They're removing the crisis out of the mental body of the collective. These people were trying to frame them as being mentally anguished or angry or unstable or having a severe attitude, wanting to argue with everybody. No, that's them. That's them. These are the people that have the bad attitude. And they've been projecting it into the minds of the collective and then accusing them of being that. This is the personality of the principality, and it is being cut out of your mental body. They can no longer get into your mind with it. Everything that they brought to your mind is going back on them. And they're like, oh, crap. They're starving. This is a starving soul. Massive regrets for feeding on you. and nearly destroying your soul. They've been feeding on everybody's soul, this gold digger. Game over. Dispelled the illusion. Playing games with you. Mind games, lies, attempts to disempower, manipulation, intimidate, knowing how to outwit, influence, control, narcissistic personality. It's game over. There's excitement. Expect to hear from them soon. We've got a transformation. This cycle is ready to die. And those people who were mirroring the Christed beings are thirsty and hungry. And yeah, we got reflections. God said that they were going to be held responsible for everything that they put into other people's mirrors. They're experiencing a return on those reflections. So while the Page of Pentacles, you're getting a new job, there's new potential here. Could be making plans. The Earth is showing signs of recovery of their sovereignty. Reclaiming personal power as you overcome dependencies and toxic behaviors. Be patient. Growth takes time as this golden light starts to spread across the region. There's a new GPS for family, a new pathway. You've shape-shifted. You became the phoenix. You've elevated. You've cut through the confusion. Get that shit right out of you. That dense stuff trying to latch onto your solar plexus. Blast that shit right out of you. Honor what is ending. And be patient while the glow grows. It takes time. To recover sovereignty. Well, that's the message. I do hope that this brings clarity, eases your mind. This is a good reading. Be patient. These people who have been mirroring you, they can't touch you now, and they're hungry. They're like, oh man, they're getting ixnayed out of your mental body. So they're getting ghosted. Now there's a whole bunch of stuff, but it didn't have to be violent to be over. But it is. It's a Ten of Swords. It's a whole big Ten of Swords. They were fighting with you, and it's not ending well for them. They're not going to pull off the sacral energy of these golden beings anymore. So, there we go. Thanks for being here, everybody. I hope the rest of the evening treats you better, and I will see you on the next one. Have a blessed evening. Thank you for the sunshine. Thank you.